In this video, I'm going to go through just a little bit of starting to build your magazine cover with you on it. So right now I have open a picture of the cover of Wired magazine in which I'm going to try to copy as best I can in their style. So when I say copy, I don't mean copy and paste things from their cover, but to make it match as close as possible by choosing the right fonts, the right style, the right color scheme, things like that. So we're going to do everything from the title to the little text here and there, all the way down to the barcode is the other thing that you would have to add to yours as well. So in the background, I kind of like this blue gradient that they're using, so I'm going to kind of go with the same thing. So don't ask me why I'm doing this pose. It doesn't make any sense for Wired, but it's okay. It's just my students told me to make that pose when I was taking this picture. So let's first get the background by creating a new layer, putting it behind me. And I'm going to use the gradient tool and just create a blue to white gray or blue to light blue gradient. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my foreground and background color and first choose a sort of dark-ish blue. And then for the background, I'm going to pick from that same color, but just make a lighter version of it. So we're going to do something like this, lighter and brighter. Okay, now with this, if I want it to look like this, it would be a radial gradient, right? From the center outward. So I'm going to choose radial from up here in the options bar and pull it out from here. And I get something like this. Now you can see it's going in the opposite direction of what I wanted. So all you have to do is just reverse your colors down here. Try it again. And now it's going from the light on the inside to the outside. But now I actually want it to be a little bit lighter on the inside, so I'm going to go ahead and edit this color, make it even brighter, and try it again. Yeah, that's more like it. I'm going to go even farther to get more white. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty good. Now, this is still kind of flat. I want to mimic this style that they have here. There's almost this like etched pattern. So to do that, I would just have to go into the filters and find something for that type of texture. That's one thing I could do. I could also download a texture from the internet and overlay it on top of this as a separate layer and give it that texture. But I'll look through the filter gallery real quick and see if there's something we can use from the textures to maybe, oh, there you go. See, something like that can work. I've got the scaling here. The relief I want to keep low. Try something like this and see. Now, that's looking pretty cool. So I'm going to leave that on there. Now, to do the text, that is going to depend on whatever yours looks like. So some magazines just have a straight font. Wired does this sort of sketched little stencil style thing. So this is actually pretty easy to create. What I'm going to do is take a shape, make a shape, and then cut out in the shape of a letter, right? So this font is a sans serif font, so I want to choose a really block font for that. So let me go to my text tool and look for something that's going to resemble that. Let me type it out first in all caps. Make it nice and large. Remember, if this doesn't get big enough, you can type in your own size here. You can also hover over this T right here and click and drag to the right, and that's going to make it larger. So now with this, I'm going to go back to my text tool. I'm going to try to find, well, you know, this isn't bad, but I need something a little bit bolder than that to really match Wired. It's close, though. It's close. I need something a little bit better. So let's see if we can find something bolder. Here, I think that'll work for now. It's not perfect, but this is going to work for now. All right. Now, I also need my letters a little bit farther apart. So with that, you can use the character panel. Right? Character gives you all kind of options for your text. So with my text layer, I can change some of these options and make them, that widens the text. You've got all these different types of things you can play around with. So this one actually changes the space between the letters. So negative will bring them closer together. The other way will bring them farther apart. So that's a little bit better. So now what I want to do is create that stencil effect. So all I'd have to do is use my, and I'm going to cut it out. So I don't want to use vector in this case. I actually want to use pixels. So I'm going to go and create a box about that looks like that around the W. Remember, you can hold the space bar to move your selection over. And then I'm going to fill this in. I'm going to create a new layer first. And I'm going to fill this in with the color that I want. So in this case, I want to do yellow. So I'm going to choose my color. Pick a nice yellow color for this cover. You can always change it later. And there is my base for this. But now what I want to do is I want to select, and you get smart here, right? If you want to cut out something in the shape of this W, you can use the magic wand tool, select your text, click on the W, it's going to do that. Now when I bring this, now I can go to my colored layer and just press delete, and I can cut out that piece from there, right? So if I go in and get rid of my W now, I'm left with just the W cutout. Pretty simple to do, right? Pretty simple. And then you would do the same thing with the R and the D, and then the I and the E can just stay normal, right? That would be what's left. So I'm going to go ahead and really quickly do this just so you can see what it would look like in the end. Remember to select the text layer when you're doing this trick with the cutout. And then select the color again before you delete. Same thing, go to the text, select the D. Bring back the color and delete. So now if I go in here with my text tool and delete the ones I don't want, like the W, the R, and the D, and I can space these out and change the color of those as well. And if I want to match this exact color, I don't have to go and find it again. All you have to do is hover over one of these, click on it, and it picks the exact same color to match it. And obviously my spacing is not perfect here, but you get the idea with the style. And I could go ahead and keep perfecting this to make sure that I get it looking more like this does instead of this. You can see my letters are a little too big, my boxes are a little too big, and I would go ahead and just sort of transform things and move them around, space them out properly. But that's a quick way you can do things to try to match a magazine style. We've got filters as well. And then you would also go through and kind of copy everything they do. Like notice they have these little lines underneath, these little color boxes underneath each preview. They've got these all different kind of previews of different articles that are going to be in there. So you would go through and try to recreate all of this as much as you can. Now, if they have a very specific barcode, that is the only thing that you will be allowed to steal from here, okay? Because you want that to match. So I would just go in here, create a selection of this barcode, unlock this layer, and then use the move tool to bring it over. That is the only piece you will be allowed to steal. If you get a message about changing the color mode, that's okay. Just press OK. If it's too small, make it larger. Now I have my barcode in the corner. So this is just making strides towards magazine design that you'll be doing this week. Your final version would look a lot better than this, but I just wanted to give you a few more tips on how to get going with this.